Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the 2003 Japanese exclusive ehobby figure Sunstorm. What we're going to do with this video then, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to see how he compares with the original owner of the mould that was used to create him. We're going to have a look at some other Sunstorm figures that have been released during the Transformers toy line franchise, and we can also have a quick look at as well at the figure that he was released with, which again is another ehobby exclusive. Right then, let's move these guys out of the way and give you guys who don't really know a bit of backstory about ehobby. So in the long and short of it, ehobby is a company that Takara licensed them to make figures using their molds, because this is a legitimate figure, I say completely licensed. If we have a look here, if I can just move the wings out of the way, you can see you've got the stamp there's your Hasbro stamp, Takara Japan, and you can see it says 2002, and that's because this was the 2003 release. So yeah, they were licensed by Takara to use the molds to, I suppose the best way I could put it is to make versions of the figures or characters that just never got an official release. This guy was seen very briefly in the very first Transformers cartoon when they were on Cybertron, and I suppose he's known now as a part of the welcoming committee, and he's just such a great character. And considering he's only seen for just a fraction of a second in that very first episode, he's a very popular figure, and I just think that it was a brilliant idea for them to actually release this. So yeah, he does just use the standard Seeker mold that was released for pretty much all of them in Generation 1. Obviously, they slightly retooled, obviously, the wings for Ramjet, Dirge and Thrust, but the main body is, of course, exactly the same as Starscream, which was, of course, Thundercracker and Skywarp as well. Same for the accessories. They just redecoed all of the accessories. The one thing to be aware of with these, though, is that the stickers that were on the original wings are no longer stickers, and these are all tampographs, which again is brilliant because it means they're in the right place, they're not going to peel off, and as you can see, they look really good. I am actually missing the two little blasters, or the little missiles that would come with him, so they would be just orange of these, just the standard missiles that you would normally get. They would just be orange, but unfortunately this version does not have them. Everything else he's got, and we're going to have a look at him then. So as you'd expect from an original G1 figure, and especially a Seeker, you can see there's not really any articulation at all, just literally the arms there at what I suppose you could say is the shoulder joint. The legs are fused, the head's fused, the waist is fused, but I think again it's just the way that these display. They took some brilliant colour schemes and just made some fantastic looking figures. What I'm going to do now briefly then is I'm going to quickly transform him into his F-15 so we can have a look at him in that mode, and yeah, do some more, as I say, comparisons in a second with some other Sunstorm figures. So as I was saying about ehobby, they made some of the figures that you just, again, they weren't released, like Hauler, which was the green version of Grapple. I've done a video on him and I'll introduce him again in a second. They did the purple Astro Train. They did some different decorations of some of the cassettes, and these are quite sought after figures now, and again, they were only ever released in Japan. Right, let's just turn all these around. He's even got the rub sign on it, you can see. I'm just going to fold this over. There was also, I showed you the date stamp on here saying 2002. Sunstorm was actually reissued again by ehobby in 2009, and the figure obviously would be the same, but the packaging that he came in was different. So that is one thing just to be aware of. There have actually been two official ehobby releases of this particular figure. All right, let's just clip all these on. I suppose as well, if you're being honest, these are the original, what we now know or refer to as parts forming Transformers. Again, this is a brilliant example of the colour scheme. Look at this. I'm going to quickly show you the missile launches, because again, it's Japanese. They will actually fire and they will actually launch rather than just drop out, and you can hear the tension inside there, so that's good. Again, landing gear would be exactly the same standard as a normal Seeker. And let's just pop this down, have a quick look, and attach the long missiles. There we go. So can I prop it up just so you can see? It is it's the same jet, the F-15, and it just looks, again, this colour scheme really works with it. I suppose you need to be aware of the fact that the white can sun fade, and this is rubber, so that's something to look out for. And we've got a lovely caged cockpit as well there, to be honest. What I mean by that is you've got the nice silver lines going over it, looks like a cage, and I'm sure you'll agree it's, again, a great use of this particular mould, and it, yeah, makes a nice alternate mode. Right, let's go back to robot mode then and do a quick few comparisons. So I mentioned that he was only released with hauler. Now, they weren't in a gift pack, they were released in their own individual packaging, but ehobby had a tendency of doing that, releasing a couple of figures at the same time, and it just really worked. Again, I've got quite a few to show you. This very interesting and intriguing, and if you like Generation 1 figures, it is a very, very interesting toy line, purely because, as we've just said, there's a few which you just didn't expect to see, or perhaps wondered, well, why didn't we get that particular figure? And I'm sure you'll all agree that this guy should have got a mainstream release anyway. So while I'm just piecing him together, I've got another version of him. Oh, you could see the tension and the power in that missile there, and this was the 2013 BotCon version of him. And again, same with all the other Seeker molds. The original owner of this mold was, of course, Starscream. I like the white fists as well. The white fists really are quite striking, and as you can see, they do stand out a lot. And again, considering he isn't such a huge character, he's even had a masterpiece figure of him released. And I mean, let's be honest, it probably is just because he is a Seeker, and it's always very easy just to redeco a Seeker jet and a Seeker mold. So there's the last missile launcher I was looking for. I'm just going to quickly attach this. Obviously, unfortunately, I've got no packaging to show you with this either. So what I'm going to quickly do is just move him over here and bring up hauler. This is hauler, and that is your green grapple. And again, he was in the very same episode for just a split second, but it's all about this guy, and we're going to sign off with that. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed looking at him. He is the 2003 ehobby Japanese exclusive figure Sunstorm. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.